Sports Extra on a Tuesday, keeping you informed.
We have 10 teams this season tonight.
Sports Extra Cayman Islands.
A young team full of talent, full of desire to do good things.
We've had some success with the outdoor league being restarted.
Good evening and welcome to Radio Cayman Sports Extra. I'm your host, Dionne. We have a very nice panel for you tonight here on Sports Extra. We're going to start off with the National Under-16 netball team. Its coaches Laverne Ebanks and Irvin Palacio will be in the studio with us. And we have one of the Under-16 national players. We have Miss Zanaya Williams in the studio with us. Good evening.
Good evening.
All right, we're not going to start just yet. We're going to take a short break and then we'll come back to you. This is so you can get a little acclimatized in the studio, right? So you can calm your nerves a bit. Yeah. All right. So in the second segment, we'll hear from Mercedes Foy. Right, Mercedes is the female rugby manager for Cayman and coach. Also, Miss Shona Brown, who's a former English rugby union player and a former hammer thrower. She wore so many hats for England, and we're going to hear all about it. Okay, so stay tuned. We'll be back with more Sports Extra in a minute.
Are you a Caymanian job seeker searching for employment? All jobs, whether full-time, part-time, temporary, or permanent, will be required to advertise on the Jobs Cayman portal. Visit work.ky. That's worc.ky to start your job search to see all available jobs or to apply. For assistance in registering or to learn more, call toll-free 1-800-534-9672 or customer care at 945-9672. 945-9672 today.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by Value Med Pharmacy, located on Walkers Road, Georgetown, and in Evron Plaza in Bordentown. Whether you're fulfilling a prescription, treating an illness, or just maintaining your personal health and wellness, look to Value Med Pharmacy for your personal care needs. Value Med Pharmacy, bringing you the 8 a.m. news Monday through Friday on Radio Cayman 89.9 FM.
Radio Cayman News.
Concerns last night's public meeting about the east-west arterial extension.
If there can be a solution found that is less damaging to our central mangrove wetland system.
Several of the roundabouts will be skirting the mangrove.
It has to be more valuable to our country to protect it than to go build a road in there.
I really think for the first meeting it was really good.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
Satisfaction is guaranteed 24 hours a day, whether it's music or information.
From Grand Cayman to Cayman Brac to Little Cayman, we've got you covered.
You ever hear a thing like that?
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Alrighty, welcome back to Radio Cayman Sports Extra. In the studio with us now we have Coach Irvin Palacio, and he's joined by one of his national players, Zanaya Williams, and they're going to tell us a little bit about netball, what's happening with netball lately, because they're going off to a very good competition later on next month. Next month is like tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So I think it's the 26th?
Yeah, the tournament is around the 26th of
March?
Of March, yeah.
And it's in Dominica?
It's in Dominica, yeah.
Okay, awesome. So how are you? How have you been, Coach?
I'm good.
You're good?
I'm good, yeah.
It's nice to see you coaching the national team again.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's that experience been for you?
It's, to be honest with you, is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot different dealing with younger players. But slowly but surely we're getting, hopefully, where we need to be.
Right. Well, talk to me a little bit about the difference, because I know you're accustomed to coaching women, mm-hmm. especially in Rising Stars. You have a few youths there because you have a B1 and a B2 team now.
Yes.
Are they younger athletes or just newer to the game?
It's a mixture.
It's a mixture.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's that experience like for you now? Because going from coaching the national women's team, You did that in Isle of Man, I believe, a couple of years ago, and what a wonderful experience that was for you. And now you're coaching the younger kids, the under 16.
Yeah, it's different, especially with this crop of girls, because with the pandemic and everything, they had a
huge gap.
Yeah. So trying to get them up to speed in regards to how the game should be played and whatnot that's one of the biggest challenges that we have.
Okay, so this team in particular, the under 16, are they all new to the game, or they've played before in some way?
No, I mean there's one like Zanaya, because she's been playing
for a long time now.
Yeah. But a few of them, I guess this is their first time being in the setting and stuff. So I guess yes. So they're fairly new.
Fairly new, but you're a veteran, Zanaya, right? Yeah, you're a veteran. Okay, awesome. So tell me a little bit about your experience so far with preparation leading up to this tournament. How has that been for you?
It's been good. The coaches and they've been trying to help us to improve on what we need to improve on.
Okay.
Like on Mondays and Fridays. So.
Okay, so it's practice 2 days a week.
Yes.
Okay, Mondays, Fridays.
Yes.
Okay, how's that coming along?
It's good. They've just been helping us to better our technique and stuff like that, and just improve on what we need to leading up to when we have to leave.
Okay, talk to me about some of the skills that what are some of your goals that you're working on to improve for this tournament?
Well, I normally play defense, but they've been putting me in attack, and I just want to really get better at playing attack just in case.
You just want to defend. You're like, why are you putting me in a goal attack when I want to defend? Is that what that's what you really want to say to Coach Irvin. I know, yes. So, and that's okay. And you're learning something new. What's that been like for you, that transition from defense to goal attack?
At first, it was like, I don't really want to do this, but eventually it's getting there. It's getting there.
Okay. Coach, can you explain to the listeners who may not be aware of the different settings and skill sets of netball when it comes to the positions? So like goal attack and defense. I think everyone knows what defense is. But can you share with us the goal attack and what's that position about?
Well, the goal attack position is one of the positions where they create a lot of opportunities for the goal shoot.
Right.
Yeah, they work along with their wing attack to bring the ball into the circle, and then from there they'll try to create.
That was my position. Yeah. I like goal attack.
Yeah.
Fierce, and that means you're fierce. All right. So, Coach, let's talk a little bit about the tournament coming up. And she spoke a little bit about preparation. Tell us a little bit more about what you and Coach Laverne have been working on with these young ladies to help improve.
Well, because of the group being so new,
I
mean, basically we have to try to start from scratch.
Right.
Trying to get them to improve their basics, catching, throwing. Unfortunately, but I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, we have to work with what we have.
Yeah, in every sport, you have to try to get the basics up, trying to get their fitness, and basically just trying to get them to be a cohesive unit.
Right.
Last week, we did a midterm break camp where we had 3 days and basically put them through their paces. We did different things where we had umpires come in and try to get them up to speed in regards to the rules, how the rules are now. Basically, like, deal with their mental, and with it being their first time, trying to get them to understand what is going to be like, basically, or try to get them to be able to cope with that.
Right.
So I mean, it's a little try to touch on everything. I mean, the time frame isn't necessarily ideal for us, but we're trying our best to
work with
with the time that we have.
All right. And you said midterm break camp. Was that inclusive of all kids, or was it just the national team?
It was basically
it was open for everyone?
No, for the selected team, plus the training partners as well.
Okay.
So what we're trying to do is to build from here, and we didn't turn the girls that didn't get selected away. We're hoping to be able to, if they're young enough, that they'll be able to continue so that we could we could next year now, if we decide that we're going to go back to the tournament, we'll at least have a somewhere to start, basically.
Okay. And what are some of the things you're talking to the girls about, of course, when it comes to the mental aspect of it? Because when you go to a tournament like this, it's an international tournament, you're going to be playing against teams that might be bigger, tougher, more experienced than you are. What are some of the things that you're telling the ladies to help prepare them mentally for this?
Yeah, well, I mean, some of the aspects that we touched on at the camp was, the internal and external factors of what they need to understand, what makes them tick, and then obviously then they'll have to deal with all of the rest of the stuff that's going to be happening. So they have to be able to balance both of them, both things.
Awesome. And you're the senior on the team, one of the, because she's more experienced, you'd say, right?
Yeah, she's
not
been
internationally.
Yeah, but she's played.
She's played before, and I heard you were good. And you have several interviews with Coach Janet that has been aired on Radio Cayman. So I don't want to hear any excuses. I know that you're great at playing netball, and you're a future. We know that for sure. But being the senior in the team, or the one that with the most experience, what are some of the things you're telling the younger ones to help encourage them to get through this?
We all kind of like build each other up and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm like a senior.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all kind of like
the same age?
Yes.
Yeah. You're more veteran though.
Yeah.
Okay. And what would you think is like the most challenging thing you faced at practice? Yeah. Answer that first, and I'll get to another.
I'm not sure. Maybe.
Was it drills? Any drills that might be a little difficult for you? Is it something mental, like what Coach spoke about, the mental aspect of it? Has that been troublesome for you? Have you traveled internationally with the team before?
No, Mom.
No? So this is your first time? Yes. Are you nervous?
A bit.
You're just a bit nervous. Coach, do we know who they're going to be playing against yet? Do we know the schedule?
Not quite. I know that I think Dominica will be there, obviously, because they're the host.
They're the host.
Yeah, I think Barbados, Trinidad might be there, and St. Vincent, St. Lucia.
And you said Jamaica?
No, I don't think Jamaica is.
Jamaica's not coming.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't think so, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, Zanea, let's use this moment for you to just tell me a little bit about your team. Tell me about your team. You can talk about some of your players and some of their strengths and how they make up the team.
Our team in general, I think we're really good. I mean, with the practices, if we just utilize the practices that we have left leading up to the time that we have to leave, we could be better.
Okay.
We are really good though. So, and the teamwork that we have, it's really good. And the way we work together is.
Who's your goal shoot?
One of the goal shoots.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is, we have Chloe Ennis.
Okay.
Yeah, and we also have, in regards to the shooters, we also have Jade.
Come on in, Coach.
And Genesis.
So, okay. Jade, Genesis, and Chloe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's a very important part of the game. Our shooters, right? How good are they?
They're coming along. They're very good. I think that they have to focus on all of the things that we've been trying to show them and try to utilize it when they're actually in the game.
Okay. Have you thought of, what do you think your team's chances going into this tournament, or it's not something you want to think about right now? You're just focusing on the game itself and play by play.
Yeah, basically, I would say play by play. We looking at being that it's been the first time in a long while that Cayman has been at this tournament.
What's the name of the tournament?
It's the Jean Pierre Youth Tournament.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
A Jean Pierre tournament in Dominica. Why is it not held in Trinidad?
They move it around.
Okay, so it's moved around. Okay, that's awesome. That's incredible. Awesome. What we're going to do, though, we're going to take a short break. And then when we get back, we'll hear from Coach Laverne as well. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Sports Extra in a minute.
Start your day in the know. Don't miss a beat. Radio Cayman's 7 a.m. news keeps you informed every Monday through Saturday at 7 a.m. Proudly brought to you by Walkers, a reputation for excellence. Learn more about the Walkers Scholarship and Legal Training Program at walkersglobal.com.
Traffic again? What in the world is going on?
Find out by tuning in to Radio Cayman's Traffic Report, brought to you 4 times daily during rush hours following the news at 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 12 noon, and 5:15 p.m. And brought to you by Subway. Need a meal on the go? Subway has 7 locations at Anderson Square, West Shore Plaza, and Industrial Park in Georgetown, Centennial Towers, West Bay, Reef Resort, East End, Countryside Shopping Village in Savannah, and in the Owen Roberts Airport Departure Lounge. No matter if you're running late, need to cater an event, or a staff meeting, Subway keeps you fueled with sandwiches, salads, pizza, wraps, and snacks. Subway, eat fresh.
Health Services Authority is now offering online payment options for patients. Patients of HSA can now pay their bills, including deposits, towards scheduled services online at payments.hsa.ky. The secure, new online payment system accepts debit or credit cards and is in addition to the available payment options of cash, check, and online bank transfer. For quick, easy, and secure payment directly from your phone or computer, visit HSA's new online payment system at payments.hsa.ky.
You are listening to Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
All right, welcome back to Radio Cayman Sports Extra, and we're sitting in with coaches Laverne Banks and Irvin Palacio, national coaches for Cayman's under-16 netball team. They're heading off to Dominica on the 26th of March, and Coach Laverne is joining us now, and she's going to share with us a little bit about how team preparation has been coming along so far. Coach Irvin gave his part. Let's hear from you and your perspective.
Well, thank you for having us here.
You look lovely, by the way. I love that color in you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Right, so preparation started from December 2022. And when we realized we only had 3 months, we were like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The time is
short.
Just too short. Mm-hmm. But we got together as coaches and we had to strategically plan every step of the way, whatever we wanted. So the first thing we came upon was what you call a microcycle. That planned everything. It make us look into every area that we wanted to work on. We looked on the girls that we had to select from.
Okay. And
they're lovely girls. But they don't have, I would say, the basic component of fitness.
Right.
So we had to make a decision as coaches. This is the areas that we need to focus on the most.
Yeah.
And we made up a plan that we had, agility, coordination, the balance,
because the
speed.
You're so right, because as talented as you may be, if you're not fit, you can't follow through with any of that. So that is actually the best thing to work on.
And that's where injuries comes in. So we had the girls going through areas of, we had like fitness tests where we had to test, where they are from the time when we got them, and we did that. And the girls are coming along greatly, but we have to, I want Cayman to know that our program is a development program. We are at a developmental stage because the girls that we have now, they're eager and they're passionate of playing.
Yeah.
But we have to take our time with them.
Yes.
Because they are growing and they weren't exposed to certain to this type of training. And we have made great step, but we're still having trouble with the passing and the catching.
Right.
But we had on the 21, we trained against on the 21 yesterday, a game situation yesterday. And boy, weren't we proud of them.
Yeah.
Because from that small gap, that's been time where I saw the progression. So we had to make a decision, you know, what are we going to focus on? Unfortunately, we can't do everything.
Yes.
But the basic is like the footwork and the catching, because those are the basic.
Oh, yeah.
And if
you don't have that, yeah.
Right. Our shooters, they're coming along, but they're at the basic as well because they need repetition. And we need to get our athletes out of that comfort zone. They're still too comfortable. They don't know what it is to have that drive or that passion,
right?
Or what, like, you know. So we have to gradually groom them,
and to be under pressure,
because they don't see it here.
No.
And what we need to encourage for them to do too is to come out and watch the seniors play,
right?
Not just their age group, but my dear friend here. I mean, I'm so proud of her. She's one of the few that we do have in her category where she's passionate about the game and she's not afraid to try different areas.
Right.
So we're trying to develop her, and her parents are phenomenal. We have several parents who are out there with their children, and we have to give them applause for that. She played with Coach Irvin's team, and we're looking at her on. We have to be pushing her out of her comfort zone. You know, we try her with the center because she's tall.
Yes.
The center, the goal defense, defending, shooting. She's a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
During camp.
The reluctant shooter. That's what we call it.
Did Coach went into our camp that we had?
Yes, he did.
Right.
He went into detail about that. But I guess so she's playing with Rising Stars.
Yeah.
And that's a nice way. Are all the girls playing in the Women's League?
No, I think out of the 15, 20 that we have, I think it's maybe 3, 4.
Really?
And that is what we're trying to encourage, because
that needs to happen.
Right.
Yeah, because it would have been a nice way for you all to look and see how much they're improving, right, throughout the league.
Because we don't want to lose anybody. Because we had about 25 girls trying out.
Right.
And unfortunately, we were only able to select 12 with 3 reserve. But what we came up on with is to have what we call training partners,
right?
Because as we said, it's a developmental stage, and the girls, it was so close. Coach, the selection wasn't that unnerving.
Yes,
it was.
No, I could imagine.
I can just imagine because they're all there, so we don't want to lose them. So we said, let's make you training partners, and we give them roles and encourage them, because we do have on the 17 that is coming up, on the 21. We have the seniors national team. Look at it. Hopefully, Zanai will make the national
transition.
This transition and make the other national at a young age. I've done it. We have other players that walk through that path. So once we have that consistency, it's not just one tournament. It doesn't stop here.
Right.
It's the long term is what we're
right.
doing.
Does this tournament in particular lead up to any other tournament, or is it just a dead end tournament in terms of after this it's done?
This is, I think, is one of the main youth tournament in the Caribbean.
Okay.
I think it was.
And it happens annually.
Annually.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is this the first time we're taking part in this, or it's been a while?
It's been a while. I think the last time was, I could be wrong, the last time was like
2017.
No, it was further back than that. It's been a while.
Okay. When Laverne was playing.
Yeah. No. John, I'm in my 50s now.
I know. That's what I said. That's how far back it was.
Yeah. But in regards to the team, it's totally slipped me. But we also have 3 girls from the BRAC as well.
Okay.
That was selected.
Oh, that's amazing.
From the team.
Because I was speaking to Coach Mitchum last Tuesday and just talking to him about, the athletes from Cayman BRAC being selected for national teams as well, and incorporating them and making them feel important as well from that side of the island.
For us, I think that was definitely important because we heard that they have athletes over there, but we need to try to bridge that gap between the islands.
And how are they doing?
They're doing very well,
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing very well. Is unfortunate they could only, because of how they travel,
right,
for them to get down.
So they have made the team.
Yeah.
Okay, so they will be
but
traveling
it's difficult with the booking of flights. They can
Right.
only be with us on Fridays.
times. Right.
Yeah.
And the camp,
So
they
the
were
camp,
here.
The camp came in just because they were here.
And it was a midterm break, so they were
break,
here
so
like
that
2
kinda
days.
worked out.
Yeah.
So we were able to see them more than the regular 2 days that we have for practice.
All right. Awesome.
Their coach in Kimmerbrook, Mr. Green,
Yes.
he's also on board with us. He came on late. And we were very glad to have him as well, because more hands mean that we could work more with the girls on a more individual, basis.
All right.
So.
Awesome. Well, it's 7:30. So thank you so much for stopping by. But before you go, is there anything that you would like to make, public to the people of the Cayman Islands?
Yes, I mean, we're encouraging, if you're listening to us and you're in high school and you're under 17, under 21, adult, we're imploring for you to come out and try netball again. You may be past players, but we're inviting you to take up the love of your life, because we know that lots of past players out there,
yes,
that been staying away. We're encouraging you to come back.
Or you may have kids that would be interested. And it's not just girls, boys as well are invited to come out. Yeah. Zanaya, anything you'd like to say? Go team. Say it, Zanaya. Go team.
Go team.
Thank you, Coach Irvin.
Yeah, just to piggyback off of what Coach Laverne said. I mean, definitely, the sport of netball is, we consider that the ultimate team sport.
Mm-hmm.
For those people who have played, try to come back and find yourself. Try to do something, start a team, whatever it is that you could do to try to help grow the sport more than what it is right now.
Awesome. And all the best in your tournament that's coming up on the 26th in Dominica.
Yep.
Right, Dominica, that's the Jean Pierre Junior.
Yeah.
Junior netball Caribbean tournament. Okay, awesome. And Coach Laverne, Coach Irvin, thank you all so much. Stay tuned. We have Coach Mercedes Foy. She will be in the studio with us. Mercedes is the female rugby manager, and Coach Shona Brown, former English Rugby Union player. They'll be in the studio next. Stay tuned for more Sports Extra.
Tune in Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. for the Daily Sports Report, covering local, regional, and international sports. Proudly brought to you by Dr. Wayne Porter, offering a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. Call 946-9020 to book your appointment today.
For government schools, standard student registration for the 2023-2024 academic year starts March 1st. Register your child online at schools.edu.ky by May 31st, or take advantage of the late registration option from June 1 to 30th. Only applications submitted on or after March 1st will be processed for the 2023-2024 academic year. Brought to you by the Department of Education Services.
System 1 loaded. For the record, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings from 7:30 to 9:30, we interview the various government ministers, opposition, and Cayman Island legislators. For the record is brought to you by West Bay Pharmacy at Centennial Towers. Visit us today for fast, efficient, and professional service. Everything you need and the hours you need it at West Bay Pharmacy.
We give you honor and praise, adoration and glory.
Radio Cayman.
Praise time.
Praise him, praise him. Come and let's praise the Lord. Come and let's praise the Lord. Praise him in the morning and in the evening. Oh, let's praise the Lord.
Praise time in the morning.
Praise him, praise him.
Weekdays 6 to 6:30 a.m.
Radio Cayman, waking you up.
Rock my soul in the blues of my favorite. Rock my soul in the blues of my favorite.
Praise time.
I know he cares. He'll always be there. Oh, yeah. Praise him, praise him, praise him.
Praise time.
Set your clock for 6 a.m. or you will miss it.
Satisfaction is guaranteed 24 hours a day, whether it's music or information.
From Grand Cayman to Cayman Brac to Little Cayman, we've got you covered.
You ever hear a thing like that?
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
All right, welcome back to Radio Cayman Sports Extra. We have the female rugby manager for Cayman Rugby, Mercedes Foy, in the studio with us. We also have a visitor. Are you visiting, or are you here for good? You're hoping to be here for good. I'm hoping you're here for good.
A long-time visitor.
A long-time visitor. Awesome. 4 months?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's Shauna Brown, and she's a former English rugby union player. You wear many hats. I read your resume, and I was like, oh my goodness, you're incredible. Both of you are incredible. And you know, this is my first time having Mercedes. She's so busy with Cayman Rugby. It's my first time having you on the show, so you know you have to do the little introduction and tell the people of the Cayman Islands about yourself. So let's start with you, Mercedes. Go on.
So, hi everybody. My name is Mercedes Foy. I'm the Cayman Islands female rugby manager. Been in the job for just over a year now. Been on the island for 4.5 years. Love living here in paradise, but I'm just in a dream job working in rugby with the Cayman Islands Rugby Club.
All right, and we have Shauna.
Yeah, so I'm Shauna Brown here from England, visiting for 4 months, working with Mercedes and the rest of the team at Cayman Rugby. I played my most recent cap was rugby player for England, and 30 caps, which means I played for England 30 times. Played in the Rugby World Cup final just before Christmas, and we made it to the final. We lost in the final, unfortunately. But previous to that, I've been in the Commonwealth Games, so I used to do shot put, discus and hammer. I threw a hammer for England in the Commonwealth Games 2014. In terms of jobs, I've been a firefighter, I've been a commercial diver, I've been a lifeguard, British gas engineer, which is heating engineer, and I guess you guys don't really know what heating engineers are here, you don't need it. I'm like radiators and hot water. People look at me like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Basically warm air instead of cold. So yeah, I just like to keep myself busy, and what I recognise it as male-dominated jobs, but for me it was just about doing something different. I just really enjoy doing new things, learning new things.
And the strong woman competition.
Yeah, forgot about that.
Amazing. Yes, because you're so much.
Yeah, strong woman competition, Highland Games, which is basically throwing loads of different things, tossing a caber. If anyone's from
Island
Scotland,
Games.
Highland Games.
Oh, so Highland.
The Highlands of Scotland. So we used to go up to Scotland a couple of times a year to compete in that. And then where Mercedes normally comes in, she talks about No Woman, No Try. So there's a documentary featuring me on Amazon Prime called No Woman, No Try. And we're showing it quite a bit through my time here as screenings at the club. And yeah, there's just, I've got a lot going on, and I love it.
You love it. I love it too. When I read your stuff, I was like, wow, okay, this is going to be good. So what have you been doing here since you've gotten, when did you get here?
I got here end of January.
Okay.
So just over a month now I've been here.
How are you liking it here in the Cayman Islands?
I'm scared I'm falling in love with it.
Yeah, they all do. I did too. I'm here, I'm stuck here.
I promise I am going home, but yeah, I've been here a month, so still another 3 months.
Well, even when she goes home, like at the end of May, hopefully it could be something that could happen. Obviously, before Christmas, we had Linda Jungang, the Irish international, out as well. So it's something as part of our programme we're really invested into, especially as part of our Artex after school programme, getting out these top level international athletes with sort of not only international playing experience, but just very, very high profile.
Something that our young girls and our women can look up to and see, themselves probably through you. I think it's amazing that you're doing what you're doing and bringing them here to set an example and to show them what hard work can do, right? Yeah. What have you done since you've come on island?
But yeah, a lot of coaching. And when you talk about sort of being a role model for the girls, the amount of times that when I've met a group for the first time and I said, I'm a rugby coach, and you don't look like a rugby coach. Yeah. And I'm like, well, what does a rugby
still
coach
look like a player?
What does a rugby coach look like? They're expecting sort of this middle-aged white man or something. But it's me, and then they're quite obsessed with my accent, actually.
Yes.
They're like, oh, miss, just say something. You've got a cup of tea. You want a cup of tea? I'm like, how'd you say this? I'm like, I'm not an animal. Just play rugby.
Yes.
So, yeah, an awful lot of coaching.
Yes.
A bit of guest speaking, so going into, like, this is another interview, going to schools, primary schools, but also workplaces, charity, working with the 100 Women in Finance, and, again, using me as a role model for their young girls, and they've got a lot of young girls on their Girls Force programme, and like say, like the after schools programme with Artex, it's about getting to as many young girls as possible, but also work with the senior women too, and I'm trying to get in with the men as well. I'm just like to keep myself busy.
You retired only last year. So
Yeah,
are you now officially a coach, or are you just here in a coaching capacity to just share your knowledge?
Yeah,
Doesn't like to label herself.
Yeah, that's a good question.
At this moment in time, I am a coach.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm definitely
awesome.
no longer a player.
Okay.
But I'm still trying to find what my life job title is.
Okay.
I'm sort of settled on change maker. I like that, or culture
Okay.
coach.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Yes, that's where I'm going.
Okay, awesome. Well, so you both just came from practice.
Yeah.
How was that?
It's awesome. The women are looking brilliant at the moment, actually. Obviously, last year was an amazing year for us for so many different reasons. The Cayman women's rugby team had been missing from the scene of just domestic rugby and international rugby for 6 years. We revitalised the programme, managed to get back some old players, attract new players, while obviously growing the youth. We went to Bahamas and to Jamaica for the Rugby Americas North tournaments, and then we played our first 15s fixture against Tampa Crew, who are the champions of Florida, just before Christmas. We've got a number of different events on the calendar for this year, so we're preparing at the moment to play Nova in Washington, who are actually the champions of the USA, in May, and then we've just got the date out for RAN 15s, the first 15-side women's rugby tournament in the region for probably about 8 years now. So, yeah, lots coming up the next few months, but they're working really, really hard on and off the field. So, yeah, they're just a pleasure to work with.
Well, I know that if anyone is tuned into our YouTube, which I hope they are, they're hearing this voice, now they can match it with the face, because I get lots of calls about her accent and her voice as well. They love your voice, by the way. They're like, oh my gosh, that voice that does the rugby for you. Like, yeah, that's Coach Mercedes. You know, not that the program, we didn't have a women's program before we did, but when you got here, like you took the words right out of my mouth, you revitalized the program. There are tons of women and girls that are coming back, that played before, that are coming back, and some of them, their children are also coming into the camps.
We've got a mother-daughter
Mother-daughter, of course. And now the program is booming. What have you done? What have you done differently?
I just think like the difference so far in our program, and there's still so much work to do, is just the real focus on the youth, making sure that we've got girls underneath to carry on filtering through, creating a pathway so that girls can start playing rugby at 4 years of age, and continue to play through till 40 or 50 years of age. Our youth programme every single Saturday morning is amazing. We've got over 100 girls from sort of under 8s, under 10s, 12s, 14s, 16s, 18s. Before Christmas, we took the first ever under 18 girls team to Mexico City, to the first international tournament, made up of 95% Caymanians. A lot of the girls coming from Clifton Hunter, from John Gray, places like Triple C. But yeah, that's going to be the difference with our future. Last Saturday was really, really exciting, where we had 5 of our under-18 girls team that are 17,
Are you
turning
talking
18
about that
this
camp that I didn't know anything
year.
about?
Oh, sorry, dear. This is they actually joined the women's rugby training session for the first time. So to actually start seeing sort of the vision, sort of like the master plan actually coming into action, is just awesome. They're brilliant. They are.
What are some of the qualifications? I mean, for anyone that's listening right now, and you're listening for your girls or even for the boys, what are some of the qualifications to, becoming a rugby player? I know rugby has majority of the sports. The girls that play different sports on Ireland also play rugby. You have your football, you have basketball players, right? You have flag football players that play rugby. All core sports that make up great athletes to be rugby players. What's the qualification to be a good rugby player or to be a rugby player here?
Just somebody who's interested in trying something different. Obviously, rugby is not sort of necessarily embedded in the Caymanian sort of culture and heritage, and we're really trying to change that.
Yeah.
And we want to become a focus sport in the schools so that we are on the PE curriculum in primary and secondary schools all year round. But yeah, just...
Do you want me to take it?
Yeah.
Take it, Shauna.
For me, rugby is one of the special sports. There are a few out there, but it's one of those special sports where every different type of person is required. So whether we're talking physically or mentally. So physically, we need the people who love running. They're fast. They love avoiding people.
And
they
physical
love running
contact
around
as well.
people.
Yeah.
But then you've got the big girls like me who weigh 220 pounds and 5'10", and I love contact. Like I love running into people.
Yeah.
And if you told me to run around the edge, I will say absolutely not. I am going in a straight line from A to B. I don't care if there's 3 or 4 people in front of me. But if there was 15 of me on the rugby pitch, it would be a boring game of rugby. If there was 15 of the fast girls on the rugby pitch, it would be a boring game of rugby. So you need the different body types. You need the people who are really tall and strong. You need the people who are short and strong. You need the people who might not be so strong, but they're rapid. You've got the people who are not that fast, but they can go like energy bunnies. And then in terms of mindset, you need people who can, like me, I'm just a doer. So someone shouts at me what to do, I just do it. I don't think about doing it, I just go and do it. But then also you've got the ones who need to tell people what to do. They don't necessarily need to or want to do it themselves and take the contact and do the big hits, but they have the ability to articulate that whilst in a pressure situation. So you've got like 15 opposition looking at you, wanting to get you, but you've got to be able to make a decision under pressure. Shauna, take this ball into that contact. But then there's just everything else in between as well, and people do sometimes get scared of the contact element.
Well, I was about to say I played flag football before, but I've always been intimidated by rugby. How do you change that mindset for those that are thinking like myself?
Yeah, it's realising that we need the different types. If you like to avoid contact, we categorically need you, because that's the people who score the fancy tries. Right. That's the ones you see and you're like, oh, that's...
The thing is, I like the contact, but rugby always scared me. I do love the contact.
Saturday morning training, 11 o'clock, see you there.
You see now?
Yeah, and a lot of it is not contact. Game is a sport where it's an evasion sport that sometimes involves contact. So if you can put the ball on the line without touching anybody, then that is the aim. The aim is not to hit people. The aim is not to take people out. I mean, I do get great pleasure from it, but that's more about my personality type, which is catered for. But it's also
needed.
Yeah, exactly. But it's also catered for the people who can't stand contact and will do everything they can to run around people, but they're scoring as well. So we need those different types of people. And I know, like, coming up, especially as a woman in society, no doubt here as well, but for me growing up in Britain, there's a lot of things in rugby I was not allowed to do it in normal life. So like me just expressing how much I love like dropping a shoulder on someone or handing someone off to the face and putting them on the floor. There's nowhere else in society I can say that that's cool and that's what I want to do. But in rugby,
you can say it and get away with it.
You can say it, get away, but it's actively encouraged. If when the girls hit each, I'm like, yeah, come on. And then they're like, oh, we're allowed to do this. I'm like, yeah, it's one big 80-minute fight and you love it. So yeah, there are touch and tag versions of rugby as well. But yeah, if you want to go full-blooded and
you know, I just think with that as well, Dionne, you know what you said about sort of the different sports that the kids play. They've got so many opportunities on this island, which is brilliant. And obviously we're competing against those other sports in some senses while working with them to encourage all kids to get involved in some sport or another. But one of the things we've noticed with rugby is quite a few of our rugby girls don't actually play any other competitive sports in school or out of school.
Also,
They or even out of school. They haven't quite found their sport yet, their niche, and they're finding that with rugby because it could be sort of their size or their shape or their background.
What about you? Did you always start with rugby, or was there another sport you played before?
No, so in school it was a number of different sports, things like netball, rounders and gymnastics. I went to an all-girls school. Yeah. Not sure I ended up as a PE teacher with wearing a leotard for gymnastics. But no, I was actually into athletics before, so very much an individual sport, all about me as being a shot putter. And then, just decided to go over to my local rugby club, give it a try, and then, never looked back.
And you two, you've dabbled in so many different sports. But if you look at the sports too, they're all heavy contact sports, right? Or rough sports. I love it. Yeah. Boxing, though. You were a boxer as well.
Yeah, I've had to go boxing.
Now that, you just retired from rugby and playing that for 4 years? How many? Not 4.
7 in total.
Okay, 7 years.
5 for England and 7
Which sport did you take to most?
I enjoy them all at that moment in time. Okay. And people ask me, do I wish I started rugby earlier? Because I didn't start till I was 25. And the answer is always no, because the reason I was able to succeed so quickly. So my first game of 15s, like I played rugby for the first time in December 2015, and less than 2 years later I was playing for England. But that only happened because I had the foundation of the other sports, of been lifting in the gym, weights since 16, and with shot, discus and hammer. Like you say, you have to have that. You have to have something special about you. With sport in general, to achieve anything in life, you have to have something special, something different, something unique, and that grit and grind where you don't mind that you can't go to your friends on a Friday night for a slumber party because you've got training in the morning. And as much as the girls say, oh, you're boring, or you need to come, or why don't you come? You're like, no, I want to achieve more. As much as I would like to go, but my sight is a lot further than that. And the amount of times I've had to sacrifice, even like my own birthdays, I was thinking about it earlier, like where was I for my 16th, 18th and 30th? For my 18th, I was at training because it was a training day. There's nothing I can get away from it.
And the athletes in this era are so different. And this is why you need athletes like her coming on board and speaking to the kids, because you find their thinking is a bit thwarted. It's a bit different.
They think it comes easy. They think if they say, I want to, like for me, when I'm at home, people say, I want to play for England. And I go, okay, what are you doing about it? They're like, oh, I just come to training. And I was like, yeah, but what else? It doesn't happen by doing 1 hour a week at practice.
Right.
It doesn't happen because you do 2 hours a week. It happens because you're thinking about it all the time. You're watching it, you're researching, you're looking at what you need to do. You're looking at what is the gold standard, how can I be better? Like it's an obsession. Being an elite athlete is an obsession. You have to have something, some people might say a bit strange about you, that you have to be obsessed with whatever it is, whether it's a sport, and even in career. People who have the big time careers and in loads of money and wherever they're doing that, they have to have something different about them, that they don't mind that they're losing people sometimes along the way, because the dream is the ultimate, and you have to do whatever it takes to achieve that dream.
That's one of the things, especially with our women's team, that's so inspiring, that sort of they all have got full-time jobs. Yeah. Majority of them as well, or not majority, quite a lot of them as well have got kids, young kids, different ages. And they're playing international rugby. Yeah. They're having to request time off of work. They're having to pay a contribution themselves to represent the Cayman Islands. And just what they do, sort of like to put their bodies on the line for Cayman on the rugby pitch, is just, honestly, is inspiring. And the same as with these young girls as well. For our under-18 girls camp last week that Shauna led, it was a fantastic day. 25 girls we had there.
Nice.
Lots of different activities all throughout the day, but actually looking into the strength and conditioning, so what's going to help to make them a better rugby player. Going into the gym, working on lots of bodyweight exercises, but then also looking at the mental side of things as well, and even talking about their menstrual cycles, how that can affect their performance in training. So obviously everything that Shauna was experienced as a professional athlete, we're getting that information now fed into our young people and our women's team.
And that's why when you have a women's team, you should have a female coach, because the men are not going to talk about the menstrual cycle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there was
we could talk about those things.
Our coach Henry's quite good at that.
That's amazing.
It's more about a cultural stance and getting men to realise, like men will never understand what it feels like to have a period, to have cramp in stomach pain. And in fact, I didn't know what it felt like, because I've been lucky and I've had regular periods and I've never had any issues, and sport was fine. And it's only now recently in the last few years we started talking about it out loud to each other as a team, like woman to woman, and people say, I actually can't get out of bed for 2 days. I'm like, whoa, like, I didn't know that. So I'd have been the person who said,
really bad.
Oh, don't worry, like it's just your time of month, just get to training, what's the problem? But now I understand, like everyone's different, and yes, I do think it's important to have female coaches and female representation across all of the support staff and just around the environment, because there are so many things that a man will never understand about being a woman, no matter how well-meaning he is. That is just life. The same way there's lots of things about being a man, a woman will never understand. And that is just life. But what is important, what we can do, is to talk about it, to talk about when we have issues, to talk about when I can't come to practice because my stomach is really bad these next couple of days, and having that trust and that relationship from athlete to coach to know she's not just trying to get a day off training, like there's actually a problem here. And actually, can we do anything about it? Can we help in any way?
I think that's the thing, the culture that we're actually trying to create just amongst the girls as well. If they're not okay, if they can't get a lift to training, if there's something going on at home, if they've got to babysit the little brother or sister, we're here to help you, we're here to support you, we're not here to judge you. We will do whatever we can to get you to that training field or get you on that plane to that tournament.
We've both got 12-seater buses, so we're picking up people all the time.
But did you two ever meet at all? playing against each other or with
No,
each other?
I'm quite a bit older than
You're
Shauna.
Okay.
I had a
didn't want to
very
put your age out there. I was just asking. You know.
I had a very, very brief spell at the top level, whereas Shauna was in after.
Are you pleased with where the direction of the sport is going, Mercedes? And then what are your goals going forward?
Just when the Cayman Islands Rugby Club prioritised girls and women's rugby even before they offered me the job, just from that moment on, the support that we've got from the club, from our sponsors, from the parents, from the kids, just people buying into our programme, even people like you, Dee, posting stuff on sort of your social media pages, always checking in, is just amazing. And this programme's only going to keep growing. So I encourage anybody to please get in touch with me, like Mercedes Foy 525-7937 if you're interested. Even if if you're a listener, your little boy wants to play rugby, please get in touch with me. We want everybody in the community to know that we're here for you, that rugby is an amazing sport, and we welcome you with open arms to our rugby family.
And that's Mercedes with an S at the end, not a Z.
No.
Yeah.
Even in terms of like the involvement with rugby, you don't have to be a player to get involved with rugby. We literally had somebody walk over to us the other week at the club just saying, can I get involved? She said, I don't want to play, but
just want to help in some way.
Yeah, you can. So whether it's organising fixtures, whether it's washing the bibs, whether it's filling the water bottles, looking after social media channels, there's just always something to do. Even just like hype woman, hype man. Every group needs that hype man, hype woman.
Yes.
Like, come on, and like, you don't have to have a clue about rugby, but
Mm-hmm.
you just need to be there, be that good energy in the room, like make that positive culture come around. But yeah, there's all sorts of ways, and even refereeing, like I say, coaching, support coaching. There's so many ways to get involved in rugby, even if you don't want to play.
We have a referee coaching program here as well.
Yes, we do, yeah. Okay. We were lucky. Rugby Americas North came here before Christmas. They qualified 7 new referees on the island.
Awesome.
So, yeah, the referee team actually on a Saturday for the girls and the men's and the women's fixtures, they're just amazing. They're all volunteers.
Yes.
They give up their time for hours and hours on a Saturday afternoon. Same as with our physio, same as with the medical team. We've got a real professional, considering it's amateur, in the sense that nobody gets paid to play. The setup that we've got at the club is so professional, even from the little kids. We always take a physio or doctor away on tour for us.
Right.
We follow all the correct protocols to make sure the players are protected and safe, like all the way through. And our coaches have also got the correct training they need to be able to guide the players to be the best they can be.
Awesome.
And that happens because we have our supporters, so we're both sitting in our really cool,
beautiful sheet. I love the shirts. It's so
nice
pretty.
And bright, properly Caribbean colours.
Yes.
And like I say, we have the Arctics after school programme. We've got Maple's group on our arm as well. So it's just assuring those people that we're doing good with their partnership and with their support.
And they can be proud of
the result.
supporting.
Yeah, you can be proud of it, and we're proud to wear our shirts. And like, look at the time of night, and we're still in this shirt all the time, and we walk around in matching outfits all the time. And everyone looks at us, and like, what? And they keep looking at us. Oh yes, look at us the outfits. And even just walking into the room, we generally bring a smile on people's faces because
the colours are beautiful.
And we're being here.
Definitely. And you guys, before we leave, any current leagues going on right now you want to discuss?
So we've actually got tomorrow evening, we've got a family showing of the No Woman No Try at the club from 5 till 7 p.m. This Friday we've got an adults showing, that's from 7 till 9 p.m. with a beer and curry. We've got a number of other fundraising events coming up, some pickleball tournaments in March and April.
Pickleball!
And even more exciting, sort of started the process today. Getting in contact with the Department of Sports for running an International Women's Day event. We've had some success the past couple of years.
Yes, you have.
But hopefully teaming up with the Family Resource Centre, Department of Sports, Squash Club, and Cayman Cricket as well.
You guys did, was it last year or the year before, where we had taekwondo and rugby and squash and all these other sports on the South Sound pitch. That was really cool.
That's just going back to the thing, just whatever you play, if your daughter or son is not playing any sport at the moment, I honestly believe there's a sport out there
every single
for everyone.
Person.
They maybe just haven't been exposed to it at the moment, so maybe rugby could be it.
Yeah.
And you can find all that information on Cayman Rugby Social. So it's Cayman Rugby on Instagram and Facebook. And then also Mercedes' email address is mercedesfoy@caymanrugby.com.
Get in touch.
There it is. And if you want to say your number one more time, Mercedes?
525-7937.
Awesome. Thank you, ladies, so much for coming by. I appreciate you. And finally, I could say finally, we got her in the studio.
Dionne, thank you so much. Thanks, Radio Cayman.
You're very welcome. And all the best to you and your stay. And, of course, when you go back, safe journey as well. I'm sure I'll see you before. I'm going to come and check out a few programs.
If you want to follow my journey as well, I'm on Shauna Brown on all TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and that's SHAUNAGH Brown.
Awesome.
on everything.
Thank you, ladies, so much. That's it. That'll do it for tonight's edition of Sports Extra. Sports Extra is about giving you the latest information here on sports in the Cayman Islands. So if you would like the opportunity to be a part of our show, please feel free to email me at sportsextracayman@gmail.com. You can also check out our Radio Cayman YouTube, Sports Extra social media pages, I should say, just to keep update. And you can also log on to our YouTube channel for tonight's edition of Sports Extra. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks to Netball for coming by. Thank you, Rugby, Cayman Rugby, for coming on. I'm Dionne Anglin. Thank you so much. And once again, good night and God bless. Don't forget to like us on Facebook at Radio Cayman Sports Extra.
You know, as a coach, I thoroughly agree. The athlete has just qualified for the World Championship on the biggest stage in a bar. The guys have we've been training for the last 5 months now, so they're in the real highest spirit that they could do well.
It was really infectious. I mean, for a 4-day meet with 2 sessions each day, that's pretty exhausting. And these kids were just rocking for the whole weekend.
Radio Cayman, the voice, the heart, the soul of the Cayman Islands.
Health Services Authorities now